Welcome to You Are Not Alone. This is a safe place to explore all things spiritual and beyond. I am spiritual medium Erika Gabriel. Hi, friends. Welcome back to You Are Not Alone. How's everybody doing? How are you guys? It's interesting when I say you are not alone now. I really was reflecting on why I named this podcast You Are Not Alone. It's so funny. Obviously, you're not alone. We all know that, right? Or I guess we're all learning that. That's part of the spiritual path is recognizing we are not alone and also recognizing in what way you feel not alone, right? Is it that you have discovered your guides and you feel them with you and you feel not alone because they're there? Is it that you feel not alone, by your support you have here in the earth element? Is it the knowledge that you are not alone because God is in everything and everywhere? Is it your angels? Is it your ancestors? How do you know that you're not alone? And I believe that part of our path in this life is answering that. And maybe you're not alone because you connect with your higher self and your inner guidance and your inner voice. Maybe you connect with all of it. But one thing is for sure, you are not alone. And that there is support here on earth for you. And there's also support in spirit along with your earth support. There is so much support in spirit. There's so many things being done on your behalf. Even your higher self is working with you. Just as if you do inner child work, your self now is working with your past self. It was funny too when I was choosing the name because everyone was like, "You are not alone," like the song, like the Michael Jackson song. You are not alone. You know that song? I am here with you. So I'm not an MJ fan. Sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. I know that's like very shocking to a lot of people, but I'm not a Michael Jackson fan for various reasons. Um, but I was like, I don't care because I know what this means. And it was funny. I did, I guess it was a live. Was it a live event? I have to look what that was. I think it was a live during COVID with Jenny McCarthy and Donnie Wahlberg. They had me on, or maybe it was on their Sirius XM that they were doing from home. I can't recall. I had gone on her show once before in New York City and, got to sit with her in person on Sirius XM. It was actually a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. It was, you never know when you go in there and they want you to do live readings. You're like, well, here goes. I can't really control the outcome, but we had a great time and she's very cool, very spiritual. Anyway, so then she wanted to have me on her live or whatever we did. I can't remember where it aired, but anyway, it was her and Donnie, the Backstreet. No, sorry, the New Kid on the Block. It was great because I grew up. I mean, when they were hot, I was like in fifth grade. You know what I mean? People had posters of them on the wall, and here he is. So, and that time wasn't as successful. It was different. Like she had her assistant come on the line and be like, "Hey, tell me messages from my grandma," and it was, I don't know, it was just a bit off. Um, Due to, the girl didn't want a reading. She wasn't into it. She was just like, tell me stuff. And I'm like, oh, I don't really know how to do just that. You know what I mean? This is like an exchange between you, me, and spirit. It's very hard to read for people that don't want to be read. You know what I mean? So anywho, but still, it was really fun to be with them. Long story short, they asked me about the podcast. They're like, oh, yes. And she has a podcast called You Are Not Alone. And Donnie Wahlberg was like, you are not alone. And like sang it. I was like, there it is. There it is. But that's, what's interesting now, just reflecting and why I'm reflecting on You Are Not Alone. And the title is because I've started listening to more podcasts. So I've been listening to spiritual podcasts. I've been listening to Call Her Daddy. I'm like, what is all the fuss about this $100 million this girl is getting? So I've been listening to that. And it is so crazy how many times a day I hear other people say, you are not alone. They're just like, well, You are not alone. You are not alone. And I'm like, you're not alone. So even after all these years, 5 years or however long it's been, the title still stands. And that's why at the end of each episode, I say, if you take nothing else from this, just know that you are not alone because you really aren't. And even in the depths of loneliness or depths of feeling lonely, you are really not alone. And I do hope you have that and have that in your heart and know that and, know that from this podcast, truly. All right. So this episode, here we go. This is an on the spot episode, guys. So basically, I put on Instagram, I'm looking down at my phone. Oh God. So I had my glasses like tucked into my shirt. You know, when you do that, you hang your glasses on your shirt. So I had them hanging on my shirt and I get out of my car, getting to my office and they're not there. I'm like, shit. Um, so I need to read on my phone, but I can't read. I can't see. So we're going to just, you know, go slow here. So anyway, so I put out on Instagram to all of you beautiful people, and I've done this before and you guys really liked it. Write me a question. Write me a question that you want me to answer on the podcast. Write me a question, that I haven't answered before. So what I do when I do that is just take screenshots. So I go in to all the comments. I screenshot them and then they're just on my phone. So I haven't read them. I have not read your questions. So what I thought I'd do, and I believe I've done this before, is just answer them off the cuff live and see what my guides bring up, what your guides bring up, and what spirit wants us to have from these questions, because it's not a coincidence that you asked these questions. These questions were meant to be questions. These questions were questions that needed to be answered. Things that perhaps we haven't touched on. So let me see. Let me see if I can read. So let's see. There's a bunch. Let me click on one. I'm just reading. So, like, if you're watching it on YouTube, by the way, I have a YouTube. Please go to my YouTube channel and like it, or it's a subscribe. It's not Instagram, it's subscribe. Do I sound like I'm 100? I'm like, go and like my YouTube. You like it, you look at it. No, you subscribe to it. So please go to my YouTube and subscribe to it because you can watch all of these interviews and stuff. You can watch them instead of listen to them if you want to see my face. If you would like to see my face talking, sometimes I'm like, I look at them back. I'm like, I'm leaning back in my chair in a sweatshirt, not even looking at the camera. I'm like, this is hot. I'm looking super hot right now. All right, so let's start. Let me go to the last questions and then I'll work my way up. So someone is asking, how do we ask for lessons to stop? And they wrote STOP in capital if it's getting to be too much. Okay. So let's get into this a little bit. As we know, Earth is a powerful classroom for our souls, one where we learn very intense lessons, love being the most intense one, as well as loss, grief, sadness, despair, loneliness, as well as joy, excitement, passion, pleasure, love, right? We learn so many things and we all have different lessons, right? And some of those lessons were offering or repaying karma. And I don't mean that in a scary way, like you were bad, now you must pay, nothing like that. But sometimes with other people, or we come to conclude something with another soul. There's all kinds of reasons why we come. But Earth is a very powerful classroom, one of our most powerful possible. So we come here with a series of lessons. I've seen people come here with several themes. So sometimes we're looking for our purpose in our work. Like, gosh, is being in marketing my purpose? And it's like, well, maybe, but maybe not. Maybe there's other parts of your life that are, parts of your purpose. People can have many purposes. It doesn't have to be one thing. People can have many lessons. People can also have one lesson. The rest is choose your own adventure. Most of it is choose your own adventure. You don't have to come here and do stuff. There is no puppet master. God is not punishing you. So we come here for a series of lessons. And a lot of times, and what I've seen, especially with empaths and sensitives, they're like, give it to me. Let's do this. I've lived many lifetimes coming in hot. I want to learn this. I want to learn that. I want to learn this. I want to learn that. And then we get here and we're like, holy shit, this is what it is. This is fucking hard, man. Ah, too much, too much. This is so hard. When will this stop? And then we fall into sadness or depression or addiction or alcoholism, right? Instead of going, whoa, let me take control. I'm in control. I'm not a victim and I'm in charge. Now, do things happen? Absolutely. Do I think every single person in the hospital brought it on themselves? Absolutely not. Let's not go there. And I can explain that further in further detail. But I want to stay a little more on this question. Um, yes, shit happens. Yes, people get sick. Not everything is just us. Like, it's not like, oh, you have the flu. Like, why did you draw that to you right now? It's too much. Like, it's too much. So anyway, but we can get deeper into that as well at another time. But point is, we did choose a lot of these lessons. And some of the lessons, because of the paths we've taken, because of our personality, because of our lives, because of other influences, are just too much. And we are really struggling with having the tools to develop ways to manage those lessons. And sometimes we get stuck on lessons. I am totally. I have lessons from my past and from my childhood. And it's like, here it is again. It's like, surprise. I'm back, baby. Let's talk about age 8. And you're just like, no, not again. Do you guys have that too? Where you're like walking down the street. Let's use a lighter example. You're walking down the street and you like think of your ex. And you're like, why am I still thinking about them? I'm in a happy, healthy relationship. No, not this person again. Or something from your childhood or something from your past that you could have sworn that you healed. And you probably did, but now you're different. And so you have to heal it on a different level. So you are in charge. Part of what's happening is there for you to manage and to grow through, to process. And also, you can also say, I am seeking peace. And I ask, since I'm not alone, I ask my angels, my guides, my master teachers, spirit, my higher self to assist me in seeing and revealing my path towards some calm energy and towards peace. I picture a flowing faucet just with water pouring out of it. And I imagine turning down that faucet and cooling the energy. You may not be able to change what is happening, but you can absolutely change your energy. And instead of asking spirit, make it stop. Why is this happening? Why? Which is keeping it closer. You can ask for spirit's assistance in showing you the pathway towards continued inner strength, asking for assistance in revealing the path towards finding some peace and calm so that you can see it and you can connect with that element that is available and abundant in the universe. Do you feel me? Makes sense, right? Questions are an interesting thing when we ask questions in our lives. When we have shitty questions, we get really shitty answers. So, like a shitty question, like, what the hell is wrong with me? Why do I keep doing this? And then you hear the answer, because you're an asshole. You know what I mean? And you're like, God damn it. Like, why? Like, why, why am I hearing that? And it's like, you are being responded to your energy and you're being so mean to yourself. So if you're working with, more, instead of why, which is like a brick wall, why? Tension. You're saying, I recognize this part of my life and I know I want to know end result. I know I want to know why. But that thought pattern is truly creating trauma, tension, brick walls. So I see that. I acknowledge myself. I'm not mad at myself, but I provide other thoughts as well so that my mind can start expanding. My soul can start aligning with other thoughts. Thank you for assisting me in revealing my path through this. my path to another way. All right, so I hope that helps. Sorry for the dead air. Like if we were in radio, they'd be like, dead air, keep talking. But I am, if you're watching this, I'm looking down. First of all, I can't freaking see the writing because my eyes. I know I'm talking a lot about my eyes recently, guys, but this is brand new. I've had 2020 my entire life. Um, okay, so let's look. Oh, favorite tarot reader. There is a woman named Angie Bannicky. And let me tell you right now, let me just look so I can kind of give you a little more info. She lives in Los Angeles. Let me look her up. Angie. Good. Angie Bannicky. It's at Angie, Angie Bannicky, Banicki. Angie Bannicky. She is great and lovely and beautiful inside and out. And she was on my show. So if you are looking for a tarot card reader, I'm looking up my own show so I can tell you where she was. If you are looking for a tarot card reader, listen to this show, this episode I did with her. Tune in and see if you like her. It was, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh my gosh, she was the 5th episode I ever did in 2020. So this show started in 2020 and she was my 5th episode. Can you believe that? It's called Learning Intuitive Tarot and Following Your Calling with Angie Bannicky. And I mean, I had no idea what I was doing. Do I know what I'm doing now? Nope, probably not. But I probably was like super nervous because I was like, let's see, I had only done like an intro, talked about ghosts, and then did an episode with my sister. So she was like the first out of family like person I had interviewed. So I'm probably like, but you can hear her voice and she's strong and probably not nervous. And she's just great. And I trust her. I think, what she does that's very cool is she works with music. So she has like I forget what she said, you guys, you have to listen to it, like a 10, 20,000 song playlist. And she plays it while she's reading tarot. And the guides use songs to support the tarot. So like a song will come on and it will like align with the cards. It's wild. It's very cool. Use her. Give her a call if she's taking, I mean, God, I don't even know if she's taking new clients. Like if you look at her Instagram, like she's reading for, this is actually kind of fun. So let's look her up again. I don't know if she still reads for those celebrities, but like, let's see who she's reading for. Okay, Avril Lavigne. Yeah, she's with Avril. Oh, maybe she's at an Avril concert, but she probably knows her. Um, she has read for, I saw her with Billie Eilish, I think. I see her with Machine Gun Kelly. Who else? Very cool. I did see her reading on something with like Billie Eilish. I was way back. Anyway, check out her Instagram. She's a celebrity reader. So who knows if ooh, Dr. Phil's wife. Oh my God, I love Dr. Phil. Do you guys like Dr. Phil? Am I weird? I just like how he communicates. I don't always agree with the things he says, but I really like his communication style. I think he's very powerful. Okay. So that's who I would recommend. I hope you enjoy her. I mean, I think after all this, I should call her and see if she would possibly do it live with me or maybe another episode. It would be so cool. Okay. Let's move on to another question as I read them very, very slowly. Here we go. Ooh, have you ever used or heard of grounding sheets for sleeping? Do tell. Tell me more. I haven't heard of this, you guys. People ask a lot about tools. You know what I mean? Tools for spiritual assistance. Books, tools, sage, crystals, all of this, right? Crystals are a very powerful tool. And these all can be powerful tools. It is really also, don't forget, you're in charge. So it is your intention behind these tools. What is your intention using that tool? Because your energy on the tool will also activate it as well. So if you're like, these sheets are very powerful, my intention is that they serve and assist me as I sleep, it's like they probably will. You know what I mean? So they sound cool. I've never used them. I don't know about them, but set an intention with them and see how you feel. Okay. Okay, good. I'm reading on. More stories from readings and messages you've shared from other side to loved ones. Okay. Okay. Hold on. This is what's so crazy. So if you've had a reading with me, when I close down our session, I say, um, I'm closing this session down. I sever the reading. I ask that you take with you your angels, your guides, anyone and anything that showed up with you, including your loved ones. Whatever I showed up with stays with me. There's no confusion in who or what goes where. I seal off the reading. I unplug from your energy and I ask that you take this reading with you, that you take this reading with you, because it's yours, not mine. And then I let it go. I wash my hands of it. I rip up the pages that I use to take notes or do my downloads, and then I move on. So I don't store any information, but I really need to think. Let me pause the tape and just take a minute. Hold on. Let's see. So I have said on this show some really specific, bigger events that have happened in readings, like seeing someone. Okay, let me explain. I think I've told this story before. I'm not gonna go into detail because it's one of the most extreme things that has happened. But I believe there are several types of people on this planet right now. Men, women, pregnant women, totally different breed, by the way, and people that have lost a child, totally different breed, truly. And I read for someone once, it was a couple, and they were of breed that have lost a child, but they hadn't lost a child. And 1 week later, they lost a child. And that was probably, I mean, that's a very detailed story. I don't intentionally predict deaths. I mean, God, that's the number one reason why people don't get readings. It's like, are you going to tell me how I'm going to die? Are you going to tell me something scary? The answer is absolutely not. I've been reading for 16 years. Can I sense if someone is on a path that is leading towards negative things? Absolutely. But I don't give predictions like in 2 months' time, your car will be totaled and you will break both ankles. Like it's not. Now, will the guide say you're driving really bad? Wake the fuck up. Like, yes. You know what I mean? This was an extreme example. And it was just a almost life-changing experience where I just never ever wanted to read again. But I did see someone losing their child that hadn't lost them yet. That was just terrifying. Um, And it's a very detailed story, but it did come up when I paused the tape, I thought of it. So let me give you some other lighter examples. Let's see, 2 days ago, I read for someone, a lot of people are calling me that have lost their husbands in particular. Husbands, young kids lost their husbands almost every week. Almost every week. And I read for someone, I believe this was was this yesterday? It all blurs together. Anyway, um, and her husband came through with many, many detailed things, specifics about what to do with his business, specifics about how he died. They did not understand how he died. He gave absolute detailed specifications of what internally happened that caused the death. And he also had two sons. And he said to his wife, I have two very expensive, very special watches. Two. The bigger one with the bigger face is supposed to go to my oldest son. The smaller one will go to my youngest son for their graduation. It is my graduation gift to them. He had two watches. I said, do you know what two watches he's talking about? She just had a big smile on her face. And she said, yes, he has two Rolexes. They meant so much to him. I totally understand what he's saying. So specific things come in like that. I also have had a lot of people talk about specific pictures. So let me give you a detail. There is a picture. This is the loved one of you and I. We are sitting on a merry-go-round with a beautiful background. And that was the day that we spent the whole day together and we had so much fun. And it's a picture of you and I on a merry-go-round. And the person is like, holy shit, I was looking at that picture in my photo album yesterday. And the person will be like, take it out, blow it up, frame it. When you think of me, think of that fun, think of that beautiful day. Um, Loved ones also bring up specific songs, specific songs. I have heard loved ones sing a song in my ear and then I sing it to the person and they just are, oh my God. I had someone sing Mary Poppins to me and the wife burst into tears and she said that was the last movie we ever watched together. That's his favorite movie. That's his favorite soundtrack. I have people talk about specific recipes. So things they used to make and no one likes the way the mom or the dad is making it now. And they will come through like, because you dump too much salt in it, you're ruining the flavor, or you forgot this, or you forgot that. There are so many specific details that spirit brings through places, things, specific cars they had, all kinds of things. They also really detail the journey of their relationship together. So they will show me if these two people have been estranged. They will show me if, they had trauma or differences when they were growing up. They will show me all kinds of things, unfinished business. They will show me their passing and that person missed it and they're not upset. They will show me passing and the person was there and helped them cross over. They show me all kinds of things, all kinds of details. So I will say the thing that makes it really, really challenging, I don't know why, it could just be me as a person, when someone is like, they called me a specific name. Tell me that name or else this isn't real. And I'm like, as Erika, I first of all, I hate tests. It makes me like schwitzy. Like I start like sweating. I'm like, oh my God, like I can't force spirit to do anything. I listen in and I see messages. I see pictures. I see words. I see lives. I see things. And then I form messages around them and deliver them to you. I can't force spirit to tell me something. For an example, also like if the person is speaks French. They don't speak French to me. I don't know French. It has to be something that I can do as a human. I don't get possessed. Like sometimes I get names, really specific names. Like, okay, Jared, it'll be a specific name of that person's best friend that he wants the person to talk to that I'm reading for. You know what I mean? Sometimes I don't get names. I don't know. I don't control spirit. I'm not in the business of controlling spirit. I am in the business of listening and creating messages to deliver to people to serve and assist them. And I'm certainly not a magician where I can poof, make anything happen and spirit do things. That is not what I'm here to do at all. Um, so I did want to add that. I need to think of more stories, specific stories. I mean, there is amazing things that come through. Like something will come through and the person will just stare at me and just be like, what the fuck did you just say? And they're just like, how on earth? Like, and I'm like, tell me, because I don't know what it means, but you do, and we'll just stare at each other with a lot of joy and a lot of happiness that came through. But I cannot force spirit to do things. And I hate being tested. That is really, really uncomfortable for me. Okay. Hey, listen, random, but I want to say it in the middle instead of the end of this podcast. Please share these podcasts. I would so appreciate it. Follow me on Instagram. Subscribe to my YouTube. And if you have time, go to Apple Podcasts and rate this podcast or drop me a comment. I'm asking you guys this because I want to keep going. And it is interesting when you do stuff like this. It's like in order to keep going, you got to keep going. People have to listen and share and all the things. So I know that's kind of annoying. Only do it if you want to. Like you can listen to this podcast every single time and not rate it. Like, don't worry, no pressure. But if you have a second, rate it, follow me, all the things. I really appreciate it. Okay. So Kimberly D asked, could you talk about channeling, learning, the process. Example, Abraham Hicks. Okay, cool. Yeah, so we love Abraham Hicks. Do you guys listen to Abraham Hicks? My husband is on a long years long with Abraham Hicks. I think people come, teachers come into your life for sometimes just small seasons. Teachers come in for long periods of time and stay forever. Um, I remember there was a long time my husband was into Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins changed his life. I think Tony Robbins is amazing. That's a very kind of masculine energy, very earthly, helpful energy, self-empowerment. And he's been really listening to Abraham Hicks for years now, very diligently. And he sends me a lot of quotes and thoughts by Abraham Hicks that I really enjoy. So I like her. And we saw her live, actually. She was great. Very casual, it was very cool. I've been listening to Michael Beckwith for 20 some odd years now. So he has stayed with me all these years, really has stayed with me. So yeah, so we get different teachers. So I like Abraham Hicks. So there are different levels and ways of channeling. And there's all different drop-ins. So different how deeply you channel, like how deeply you let something drop into you. Again, it's not possession, guys. So don't even go there. Just don't even go there. But, I channel every single reading I do. I'm channeling the entire time. It's still me. It's still my personality. My ego sometimes comes through when someone's testing me or freaking me out. You know what I mean? I do everything I can to empty my ego each and every time I do a reading. I just pour my ego out. But it pops in at times when people are being very like aggressive or very scary with me. Anyway, so you know, some people channel like their voice change and their eyes are closed. When I first started reading, my voice would change. I would like yell and like I had accents, you guys, like different accents. People would drop in. It was very intense. I don't do that anymore. So there's all kinds of levels and all kinds of ways you can channel. When I channel in readings, in the beginning of readings, I write. I channel through writing. Every single reading I do is channeling. But if you've ever had a reading with me, I'm exactly as I am right now, guys. It's just me. It's my personality. It's me cursing. It's me saying these things, but I'm 100% channeling spirit. And people will be like, "How do you know that?" I'm like, "I don't know anything about you. This is channeling from spirit." Okay. So the thing about channeling is if you have a perception of what channeling is and you're pushing that narrative, it has to sound like this, it has to be like this, you may miss it. And you may be forcing or pushing something on your soul or on your earthly temple that you are not ready for. So let it be unique. Find the way that you channel. Find the way that your soul is comfortably channeling. You can channel and your body can freak out. I've had a dark night of the soul. I've bumped into very dark, dark, dark energy and it dropped me in the bottom of a deep, dark well. I was in a well for 3 days, a dark well. I couldn't see the sunshine. It was, it is not glamorous. Let me tell you that. You go insane, basically. And you can start dabbling with things that you are not ready to handle. You have no idea how to manage that energy. It sounds like, I'll be fine. It's just me. Listen to Erika. She's doing it. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, after like we're pushing, 16, 17 years of doing this and a lifetime, right? I started when I was a kid. I mean, I have worked with spirit every single day, sitting alone, you guys. I am totally alone when I read. You are not alone. I am totally alone when I read, sitting in a quiet space, completely alone, working with spirit day after day after day, hour after hour. I can work with the energy, and so can you. I am not special, but I've devoted my life to this. It's not to be played with. You must work with your own energy first and your own relationship to God and the divine first. And then you work with your guides. You must have your guides and your relationship on point with your guides to go in and start channeling others. You have to know who your guides are. What are you channeling? Are those your guides? Are those some weird thing you're bumping into? Who is that? You must know them to channel them. You can't just open up to everything and then just start bringing in some random voices. It will feel really bad. So, the idea about channeling is work with your own forces first. Are you connecting to God? Are you safe with yourself? Are you safe with your guides? And then, if you're channeling, are you thinking you're going to channel for others? Because you have to be safe for other people too. People are safe with me because I know what is what. I know what is my guides, what is your loved one, what are the angels, what needs to be shooed away, what is my ego that I empty, right? It's like you have to be in your power. Does this mean that you can't learn and try and focus and work at it? Of course not. Go for it. Learn, practice, but only go at the pace. Don't say like, "Okay, I'm going to channel like Abraham Hicks." I'm not saying you're doing that, by the way. I'm just giving examples. I'm going to just let them in. Let's go, baby. Tell me stuff. You know what I mean? You're probably not going to feel good. So start at the beginning. Work with your divine connection to God, spirit. Ground yourself, ground in your body. Connect with your guides. Learn about your guides. I have a great workshop on my website. I think it's like $70. You own it. You can listen to it a million times. It's all about learning and working with your guides. Take that. Take it one step at a time. And I tell you this with love so that you don't do something that your soul doesn't feel comfortable in or even your earthly body. But yes, learn, practice, experience it, read books. I would say definitely go for it, feel it. Just be mindful, and don't be afraid, but be mindful one step at a time and be careful. Okay? Because I have channeled some weird shit when I was little. I've told you guys the Ouija board story and all that, you know? It's like, don't do Ouija board with an undeveloped medium. It's not going to be cute. All right. I hope that answers that question. All right. One last question. Someone wrote ayahuasca, question mark. Never done ayahuasca personally. So I personally cannot do any psychedelic drugs at all, at all. And I learned that in high school. Everyone was eating mushrooms. Everyone was dropping acid. Everyone was going to fish shows and dead shows and, eating acid when their parents were out of town, going camping, eating mushrooms. And from a very early age, I know that's so sad. I'm saying from a very early age. This was the 90s, guys. Like I was very I would say I had a very short childhood. Let's just put it that way. Very short childhood. But from a very young age, and I was lost, you know what I mean, as many are when we're young in high school, all of that. But I always had this ferocious voice in me that said, "You can't take that. You can't do it." And I have someone very close to me that ate acid one time and was on an acid trip for 21 days, three weeks, and had to be committed. Like they never came off of it. So crazy. So anyway, that was very traumatizing. Um, yeah. God, that was crazy because he was so out of his mind and he was a minor, that they basically strapped him down to a table and he wouldn't stop freaking out. And the guard or whatever punched him in the face and broke his nose, and he almost choked on his own blood. That's how they treated kids on drugs. You know what I mean? In the 90s. It's so crazy. I just wanted to tell you because obviously I was like taking a moment there on that one, but I digress. I digress. So I had a ferocious voice in me, even at a younger age, that I can never, ever, ever go on a hallucinogenic trip. It's just way too dangerous for me. because I would be too susceptible to unwanted energies, because the boundaries that I have and all the skills I've developed to be able to manage boundaries, I literally go into the spirit world every single day of my life. And I believe that doing a psychedelic would drop those boundaries. So while I may have an amazing experience, the idea of opening that door with drugs in an unsafe way when I'm a channel, I'm a medium, I have been told that that would be very, very dangerous for my mental, physical, spiritual, soul level health. So I will never do ayahuasca. Um, I have smoked weed, and I've now learned, I don't do it that much, but I've now learned I can literally do like the teeniest, tiniest, ittiest, bittiest amount if I'm obviously in a safe place, blah, 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 not driving, not with children, blah, 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 all this stuff, right? But like if someone is eating 10 milligrams of weed, I'm having two. Like if someone normal dose 10, I'm having like two. And it's just kind of like a glass of wine, I guess. But I don't do it a lot, especially if I'm reading the next day. So anyway, I digress. But yeah, in high school, I used to smoke weed and I would freak the fuck out. Like paranoia, heart racing, because I didn't know, I would like do bong hits with like my boyfriend and like freak out. So, oh, guys, thank you for sticking with me. I love you. I hope this is entertaining to you, but never done ayahuasca. I have read for people that have done ayahuasca. Um, you know, I think you have to do what's right for you and what your intention is. I think a lot of, not trained people are hawking ayahuasca, basically like, hey, I'm a shaman, want to do some ayahuasca? And people are like, sweet. So I think it's a very soulful thing. I think it's a very sacred thing from what I hear. I think, if you're going to do it, make sure you're doing it in the right environment, with the right people, with trained people. Look, I can just tell you my experience. I've read for a lot of people who've done ayahuasca and it's not great. They're having really uncomfortable experiences and flashbacks, and they're not processing it well. I've also heard people have beautiful experiences. So I don't know. I don't know. And when I ask my guide specifically, tell me about ayahuasca, all I hear is, you don't need it. I'm like, that's it? That's all you're going to give me? Is it dangerous? Like, is it against spirit? Is it? And they go, you don't need it. You don't need it. You can have mind-altering, mind-blowing experiences completely sober. Now, have I heard people like have unbelievable experiences and like feel healed? Absolutely. That's awesome. But I would really, really ponder on why you want to do it, what your intention is. But I don't condone it and I don't not condone it, Do you, boo-boo? You know what I mean? All right, that's all the questions I'm going to answer. Did this bring up more questions? Did this serve you? Thank you for listening. Thank you for hanging out with me. I love you guys so much. Follow me on Instagram. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please share these podcasts. Hit me a like. Are you a company that wants to sponsor this show? Whatever it may be, I'm here. I'm going to keep going. I love you all so much. Thank you to all of those that support this show, that listen to this show, that comment on this show. That's why I keep going. I'm going to go do readings now. I love you all. I hope you have a blessed, beautiful, beautiful day. If you take nothing else from this, please know deep in your heart that you are not alone. God bless. I'll be thinking of you all. Take good care, and we'll talk soon.